This is one of my favorite singers on earth, Ed Ames, and you're one of the few Hollywood conservatives. You are out there. You're not afraid, right?
No, I'm not afraid, and I don't think anybody. Well, I do understand that in certain circumstances there is a blacklist. It's a they don't put it up on the studio wall, but when it comes to conservatives, there's a tendency to say, well, let's just get someone else. So there are people that have families and careers to care about, and I understand it.
We were talking earlier about how much you have just really, you love Abraham Lincoln.
I don't know how much I remember, but I know you want me to say it.
I do.
I won't try to say it like Abe did, because he had that country boy accent. I'll just say it the way it is. 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are engaged in a great civil war. We are met on a battlefield of that war. We've come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who gave their lives that this nation might live. But in a manner, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. Brave men, living and dead, who fought here, have hallowed it far more than our poor efforts.
Why is that still relevant today? Why do we know this today? Well,
the very last line says it all. That he had other phrases that he used in other speeches where he says that if the government, if this country falls, it will not be from an external force. It will be, we will destroy ourselves. And I can't think of a more pertinent fact than that. Our country now is beginning to dissolve. It's beginning to race against race, class against class, politician against politician. Our country is beginning to divide itself. And another phrase he said, whether the house divided cannot last. A house divided cannot last. Yeah. So that's the situation in which we find ourselves today. Our country is in great peril. I've never been so concerned about my country as I am right now, for that very reason. Great American tradition of sticking together and sticking up for our country and being patriotic and loving the wonderful beginnings of democracy and so forth, that it is slipping away. It's not being taught in the schools. It's not being, in fact, the opposite is being taught in the schools. And young kids are growing up with an entirely opposite view of what their country really is. So, for that reason, I feel that Abe Lincoln and what he said and what he did is very pertinent to our times.